God, I knew exactly your fucking casting couch idea.
What was he doing?
Because he didn't know the watch, and he saw that remotely the watch fucking like opens up the phone right to record, and he's like, connect the dots, bro. What's he gonna do?
Oh, I need to put my phone in charge over here.
It has to be in this angle. Not the cord won't let it charge.
Oh.
Welcome back to About Nothing. Today we have a special guest, Jay, FC1,
Carbon
Poppy, the OG.
The guy known as
the show car that doesn't race, according to him.
No, the misogynistic guy. Remember that?
No.
When you took claim for being the first carbon fiber guy, but you took the limelight away from that girl.
Oh, according to my favorite fans.
Look,
Not his only fans. Not his
OF.
only fans.
His OF.
My OFs.
So, kind of shitty story, but we recorded a whole podcast and nothing recorded. So,
here we are for take two.
Take two of the same day.
Bad production team.
Yeah, Java. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. No.
Where's that guy?
He's doing some stuff back there, but.
Anyways, give us your Instagram. Plug your Instagram.
My Instagram is FC1_JAYY.
Alright, you can find him on Instagram. Oh, wow, he just left us.
He has a 10-minute break, restroom.
Alright, anywho, welcome to our third, what could be considered fourth podcast episode. Jay, tell everybody how you are in the scene. Maybe they might not know who you are.
The scene with Lewis or long story?
Just in the scene.
Long story short.
Wait, what's happening?
My babysitter / uncle was in the car scene, early 2000s, 99. So when he would babysit me, he would take me with him to the races. Bad parenting.
He was racist?
No, he's not racist. He would go to the races. So I would go with him, and I grew up watching that. And obviously, my grandfather was a mechanic, still a mechanic to this day. So I grew up around all that. So that's where the whole spark with JDM and racing all came from.
You've always been into just Hondas?
Mostly, yeah. Just mostly Hondas or anything Japanese. Here and there, some American cars. Not all. I'm not a big fan of it. But, I mean, they're cool. Don't get me wrong. They're nice cars, but not a big fan.
Okay. All right. How'd you meet this guy over here?
Oh, God.
Lewis.
Okay,
Let me tell you the funny story of how
we're doing it. Oh, the actual funny story?
No.
Many might not know that you guys were at one point roommates.
For a minute, yeah.
For a minute.
Yeah.
But how did you guys
meet? Okay,
Yeah.
so how was it? The first time I ever really got to introduce myself and talk to Lewis, we randomly met up at an In-N-Out parking lot. We were eating, and I was like, "Hey," I'm Jay. He's like, "Oh, I'm Lewis. Nice to meet you." Met him and Jasmine. But the real funny story, how we actually sparked up a friendship. I decided to do was it a spring?
Yeah, he tried to do these springs. He had Laura's car.
A spring installation on my car, and I had trouble trying to adjust the axle back in, and I was struggling like the night before and then the morning. So I was like, you know what? I call it quits. Let me call the 10th gen mechanic guy. So I called Lewis, and I'm like, hey, I'm having this trouble. He's like, bro, all you gotta do is just twist the axle and then push it in. I'm like,
he called me in the middle of the night, bro. It was like 11:30 or some shit.
And I'm like, dude, I'm trying. I can't do it. He's like, I'll just go right now. And he's like, no. I'll just go tomorrow. So he ended up just showing up the next day, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'm trying. Look, I'm doing it, and I can't. And he's like, move, let me do it. So he pushes me out of the side, grabs the whole axle, and then the knuckle, and then obviously the rotor, and just twists it just like halfway, pushes it in. And that was the most quickest $60 I ever got jibbed for. under 5 minutes. Under 5 minutes, and I was like, wow. I was like, I could have saved myself $60, but
nah, but see, don't say that, because I told him, you know what, bro, I'm already here. I'm just gonna finish it for you.
Oh yeah, well he ended up finished just installing that whole side and then the other one.
And the other one.
Oh, you hadn't even got through.
No, I only had done one side. I did the rear because the rear is easy. Just pull the spring out.
I could do the rig.
You're like, I could do
Put it back
That's
on.
debatable, but
That's
okay.
about it. And then
That's
from
funny.
there, one day, I think what was it? I had to go do another installment at his shop. We went. Then COVID hit. And obviously, we all got left without jobs. So we started hanging out at the shop when he first started. And he was getting backed up with work, and we were like, hey, you know what? We're out of work. We're still getting paid by Sugar Daddy Trump.
Sugar
So,
Daddy Trump. Yeah, they're
we'll
just
just-
helping out.
We'll just come and help. And that's how the relationship started. From the first shop, just literally going to go help him.
And Bob used to like.
Well,
Well, if you guys
we
saw
had
the
nothing to do.
deleted podcast, you would have known the other.
Which we'll get into since we're on the
On the
topic of
origin story.
Yeah, on origins. This is our segment today.
Origins, yeah.
So, that is.
And then I didn't do the intro, but welcome back to About Nothing.
Wow.
Actually, no, yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this is our third, maybe fourth.
He's not-
No, I didn't. I didn't do
You
it.
didn't? Oh, okay.
No, you did.
Did I?
We'll edit it, everything out.
He's out of sync.
No, because I just started playing it while you guys were talking shit.
Oh. But anywho, back on subject. Okay, so so now as far as your build, I've seen in the time that I've known you, your build has gotten different versions of itself.
A lot of versions.
Yeah.
It's been
You're
through some
on-
shit.
On version what? What version are you on it now?
Maybe fourth or fifth one.
Okay.
Right now it's on version of Sunkissed, Orange Fanta, or the Pumpkin on Wheels.
Creamsicle.
¿Cómo se llama the fucking the Salvadorian the orange?
Oh, or the
Cola
Cola
de
Champagne on Wheels.
Cola champagne.
Cola Champagne on
Okay.
Wheels.
All right. Well, tell everybody what you have in the car, because we haven't really gotten into
What car do you have?
No, we just
Nah.
said what we had.
Well, the one we're speaking of right now, which is the 10th gen FC1, which is a 2020 Honda Civic SI. So it's pretty basic. I want to say it's pretty basic. It's on full bolt-ons. Suspension. Obviously,
Tell them what you already have in the engine, bro.
Man.
Tell them what you got on the. Tell them what turbo kit you have.
Dude. Let him-
What sauce?
Let him tell us what he
Yeah, it's
needs
just
to say about it.
Full bolt-ons. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. I think I have pretty much everything that everybody else has had or is going for, which is, like I said, full bolt-ons, flex fuel kit, suspension, everything as much as I can with the suspension, from LCAs to bars, hand-me-downs from Lewis that he's giving me, that
The shit he's jacked from the shop.
all the washers and stuff.
Oh, don't worry, I got Jack.
Yeah.
Shit too. It's probably some of my shit.
Maybe it was like, oh, it doesn't fit here. Just make it
works.
fit.
Retap it.
That's pretty much it, man. Like, as far as internally, it's still running the same. Never had a lifted head gasket. Knock on wood.
Swear to God that I love.
And yeah, we'll continue driving it the way it is until it needs a whole new upgrade.
I mean, because I've seen your car from its original color. I've seen your car when you did the wrap, that candy apple wrap, right?
No, it's actually Soul Red by TinyBot.
Okay. You had that color on there, and then you did the orange one now. Or was there a color in between?
No, there's no color in between. So it went from Soul Red to metallic orange, also by TinyBot.
Nice.
I actually met that guy at that one meet, remember? The
Uh,
detail garage meet? I met the owner of that tiny bus. He has that Tesla, right?
yeah, you're talking about Harry.
Yeah,
Yeah, Harry. Harry's a good guy. If you guys ever want to reach out to him, TinyBot, he's the guy to help you guys out.
Okay. So now, as far as let me just keep grilling you here. It seems like it's an inquisition. No, but what has your build, I guess, your overall theme for your build? I mean, is it like JDM Plus? Are you looking for a JDM track? What's your vision for the car during its reiterations?
Well, at first, when I first had gotten it, it was just for looks. As I got in more into detail with obviously the people that I was hanging around with, I wanted to do the whole racing, which I did do that. Also, tracked it a few times, did the whole track look, and they're just going back to more looks. As far as JDM, I don't think anybody here can really do a JDM look, because JDM to
I
me,
mean, there's not really no JDM Civic SIs out there,
Yeah,
or
there-
Civics. You know, it's really like when you went out there. Like, what did you see any like 10 gens like
No.
looked like they were JDM spec?
To-
Well, I'm talking about Albert when he went to Japan.
As far as
Like, did you see anything different than the States? Like the way that they build, like, let's say like a hatchback or
well,
something.
yeah, because we copied their look.
yeah,
You know, we copied their look, and then some dudes over there copy our look.
yeah,
They want what we got, which is like the APR stuff and American stuff, and we want
The
their
JDM
stuff.
stuff.
Like we want to rock the TE37s, we want to rock the JDM like Spoon, Varus, Mugen, stuff like that,
yeah.
and Gretty parts. While yet out here, or Trust as it is over there, but here, we want our type of look on it, because I mean, basically everybody's emulating somebody.
Yeah.
We're all emulating somebody, so we're all emulating. As far as for me, I mean, I'm gonna say I like a JDM look. I like it.
But what is JDM look for this generation of Hondas? Because if you were to
I feel
compare,
like it'd be like various.
No, yeah, but it's like
a hard question.
it's because like
I wasn't prepared for this. This is
When-
script.
when I think JDM, right, the original JDM going back to the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, JDM was keeping it as race as you can, but with a good look to it or a simple look. As far as like the JDM that we do here in the States, I don't know. I feel like it's just a super knockoff. I mean, I don't want to disrespect anybody out there, but I think it's a knockoff version of what it originally came from.
Well, because I mean, truth be told, like in the '90s when I had my CRX, right, I tried to go JDM, right, which was for me.
But there's JDM CRXs though.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it was to get JDM, rear tail lights, corners.
Well, that is true though,
JDM
because
clusters.
talking about yesterday, we were talking about the EM1 at the meet.
Mm-hmm.
That I see that the guys that post in Japan, they have USDM
USDM
headlights
parts,
and
yeah.
shit.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah.
And even here, if we're looking like how you said a moment ago, circling back, you said, with the new cars, I mean, my FK8, which I bet you 90% of people didn't even bat an eyelash to even think that it was, but literally the rear tail lights were Japanese tail lights.
Yeah.
That's me, because I like that. I wanted some JDM tail lights. If I would have gone JDM front headlights, they're the same, except they don't have like a side marker or something like that, right? Like for the FL5, if you go JDM front headlights, which is without the amber, corner marker, now it's amber
clear.
there. It would be clear. The only problem is that the way that the lights are balanced is obviously right hand specific. So the beam is adjusted, is meant for the right hand
So
side.
instead of them being out, they're gonna be more inwards.
It's a little different, yeah. So the view I see from my side on the left side would be just transposed to the right.
Yeah.
But that's JDM stuff, and you're right. Like when in the early '90s, I was getting SIR CRX parts for my car. I had the what do you call it? The little what is it? The little flare and all that stuff. The cluster. So that to me was JDM. I even had the B16. Sorry, the B16 engine in it. Now here, obviously, the K20 C1 is the same thing as it is over there, but obviously, you're gonna look at, like, let's say, I mean, I can convert the cluster. You can just change the the kilometers. That's not a big deal. But there are differences. If we really want to get into it, in Japan they have the ETC, which is that little for the toll roads. And it comes built in there. I was gonna buy one of those while I was out there and put it in the car, because every time you start, you get to the little Japanese lady. Yeah, exactly. That's why I wanted to buy it. Morris was giving me so much crap for
Did
buying
you get it?
I almost was. We were at what's it called? We were at Up Garage, and they had one. The only problem is when you're buying stuff like that, it's like going to the swap meet. You don't know if it's gonna work or not, sealed or not. So I was like, I don't want to buy it and then bring it. And I was being cheap. It was like $40. I could have brought it, whatever.
No, but then $40 do go a long way in this economy. So.
Yeah, but see, same thing. Like you can do all these JDM upgrades to your cars here,
Yeah.
but it just depends on how you want to go. I mean, JDM is doing that, like changing the lights, changing the little things.
Because your lights, all the difference was the amber, right? It didn't have the amber in it.
Well, in the FK8, it's the reflector. Same thing here. If you look at the rear, it has a little reflector strip.
Yeah,
It just won't have that. And then the front lights will be clear instead of the amber signals.
Summer signal.
You know, and then some people said that you can get like the Australian, either UK or some. There you can get some version that it'll be for the US, but literally right now with the car, I'm like, okay, I mean that's not where I'm
going.
I mean, if you look at it, I mean, it would
Yeah.
look like a freaking spoon car. I mean, it looks almost like it, but you know, not almost. I mean, there's some stuff, but I mean, I just like OEM Plus.
It's on that platform already,
Yeah,
though.
yeah, it's on that platform, but it's like OEM Plus with Japanese parts. That's pretty much the way it's always looked like, you know. But yeah, to answer your question, I mean, I guess depends on what car you got, because if you
Yeah.
have an EM1, if you have a CRX, Del Sol, a Hatch, EK9, EJ, you have any of those EG, you can source any JDM part and get it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can even buy the flares, which are now no longer flares, believe it or not. It's an actual LED that blinks, and it's the flare, and you can get it. It comes standard on those cars.
Yeah.
So that's I guess the difference, right? If you
Yeah.
wanna go JDM or not.
There's something I want to add to it to what we're talking about. I don't know if some of you guys are familiar with the No Good Racing crew out there in Japan.
Yeah.
The Kanjo guys. When I see their cars, that's what is the definition of JDM for me.
Like the Exceed stuff and all that.
Just their whole look is just I don't know, it's
Gangster.
it's not
I like-
yeah, it's
I like-
gangster.
yeah, I like
It's
it,
you know,
dude.
like in
I like it.
it's I don't know, it's just there's a touch to it that's simple, but it's also badass. You get me?
Well, because they not only race their cars on the Conjo, but they also are in circuits.
Yeah.
Those cars are raced at circuits, you know, and they're just like a big giant car group.
Yeah.
You know, they're a group. They're a car group, you know, club you want to call them, but I mean, neither here nor there on what they do, you know. But literally, like their main thing is to go out and race. I mean, they're more like family.
Yeah.
Because they do, I've
They're-
followed them. They do like community events. They feed underprivileged people and stuff like that. So they're not only like car guys. They also, you know, give back to their community.
They're explicit to who they bring into their
Yeah.
to their circle. They don't just allow anybody, because obviously who you allow into your circle also affects everything that you guys are doing and everything you guys build.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, if you're looking at that style, that to me, if you look at it in a '90s aspect, that's like 2000s, right? If you're gonna look at it like that, I
Yeah.
think that is what I would shoot for if you're gonna go full. Like if you're gonna go the JDM route,
Yeah.
that's what I would go. That's me personally.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like I said, like I was saying earlier, like for the tangents, I can't see or say what is JDM for these, like, because everything's still kind of new. So it's like, I don't know. I just think it's like very basic now. It's like everybody's just going for straight looks and just minimal aftermarket parts, but there's really no JDM definition to it. At least that's just my perspective.
No, you are right. I mean, honestly, you're right, because coming from the '90s,
Mhm.
you know, when import tuner stuff was at its heyday, I think I heard it not only from my thought process, but I heard it from someone else that before, right, builds were like how you wanted to build your car.
Yeah,
right.
it was not for fame or clout or whatever
Correct.
how you guys call it.
Yeah, it was for you. Like
Yeah.
however you put the car together is how you want it.
Yeah.
You know, it's how you wanted the car. And now, like you're saying, because of Instagram and stuff like that, like it's mainly like how how more followers I can get because
Yeah.
I'm rocking these wheels or because I'm rocking this, and it wasn't necessarily. I mean, I don't know about you, Lewis, if you can pretty much chime in on this one. It wasn't about brands.
Mm-mm.
It wasn't what brand you were rocking. That's the biggest thing since me coming
I
from.
feel like now I'm biased though, 'cause it's like.
Well, yeah, but see, it wasn't from.
Maybe back then, yeah, it wasn't.
Yeah, like before, it wasn't about like, oh, you got some Koenig wheels, you know. Oh,
Yeah.
it was you got this, like you got that, like oh, you have, you know, Megan racing parts on your car. It wasn't about that. It was more like, oh shit, you got some lower control arms. Damn, that's sick. Or oh damn, you're rocking that intake. It wasn't like what kind.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, oh, I got a DC or I got an AEM because those are the big brands back then. It wasn't really about that. It was like, it was more like, damn, you got this or you got that in your car. Oh, you got what kind of? It wasn't like, what kind of cam sprocket you rocking? Oh, you don't got some Totas? Oh, you're whack. It's like, nah, dude, I got some AEMs. Oh, those are dope. That's sick. You know, like it wasn't more about brand. It was what you had done to the car. That's the
I feel like now though it's changed to where it's like it's more about brand.
Well,
brand or it's 100% brand because if I have because back in the day, right, there were spoon wheels and then there were Rota wheels, right, and Rotas knocked off spoon wheels, right, and if you had Rotas, most people, I mean, again, that you're gonna have the purists, right, like the big purist guys, but it was like, damn, all right, you got that spoon look. That's what it was. You got that
but
spoon
back then,
look.
spoon was still like fucking height of.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But it was more like you got the spoon look. Now, if I put some knockoff spoon wheels on my car, what's the first exactly? That's the first thing people are gonna say. Damn, this fool got some beat neck ass fucking wheels. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like that back in the day, you know. And it was fun. Like, you know, yesterday when we were over at the Honda thing, when I went and I was walking into the Honda hall and that Civic was there. You know, the one outside, the 90s racer Civic, you know?
2-piece and all that?
Yeah. And I was looking at it and I was like, oh my God, I had that Wings West front bumper on my car.
Yeah.
I had that Wings West bumper on my car. And I had what was known as the Celine Mustang wing on my car as well. And you look at it, you're like, what the fuck? But that's what the look was. And it was from Wings West. And Wings West was not no cheap shit. The only reason I could afford it was because a homie worked there.
Yeah.
And he was making some fall off the truck. Shout out, Mark. You know, not that Mark, another Mark that I know. But literally, yeah, you know, that's how we were able to get it. Because Wings West was one of the first people that had polyurethane actual bumpers. They weren't fiberglass, they were polyurethane. So, like, that was sick.
And
you know,
they were manufactured in Texas, right?
No, they were in Huntington Beach. Wings West was in Huntington Beach.
I remember I had seen something on YouTube when YouTube started barely doing their advertisements. That they were advertising that you can get polyurethane bumpers somewhere out in Texas and for a fraction of what the real bumper costs. And they would do test fits there, like they'll grab it, toss it on the ground, or I don't know, like hit
You know
stuff.
what's
And
funny
they wouldn't
about
break.
that stuff though now is like, I feel like back then when stuff was coming out, like people are like, oh, that's so much cooler, I'd rather get that. But then now people want the OEM shit. Like they're like I for
There was a shift. Because I remember there was a shift, like where it was all about that racer look, and then all of a sudden it started changing into that JDM look, right? It was all about going OEM plus. Let's even go back. Oh, OEM plus, right? And it was like, oh, that racer look. Nah, we're gonna dial it down because the cars in Japan don't look like that.
Yeah.
And that's when like options magazines were coming out, and you could like, you know, look at what was going
Honda
on
tuning.
in Japan. Yeah, you could look at what was going on in Japan, and you're like, oh, I want that because because everybody else had all that.
Yeah.
And now we could get stuff that, you know, you couldn't get. You know, people started to import motors and stuff, and it was the old school way, bro. It wasn't about let me just look it up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Remember, it was like you had to track shit down, man. It was like
the Yahoo auctions or what?
Dude, even before that.
No,
dude.
even before that.
It was like what was that? The Recycler and Craigslist and shit like that.
I know.
You guys have the penny saver or what?
Craigslist was one of them where you would find like actual JDM parts, but most of the time like you couldn't really tell if it was like legit or not, because I mean you gotta understand that was like the beginning of the internet and stuff like that. So like you had to just vary with what you were.
And then
being
people
offered.
that were importing shit were very close to the vest because they wanted to be the ones to have.
Yeah, they
all
were
the
very
cool shit.
select. They were very selective.
I remember.
Obviously, because you just if you're top dog in that field and you're bringing in all that stuff, you don't want to just burn yourself out with too many customers, because if you keep your stuff exclusive and you become exclusive, not everybody has the stuff, and your name still remains at a high level. That's just how I see it. And you charge. You get me? You don't want to just.
Oh, I only have the one. You're like 30 in the back.
Yeah, that's all it was. You roll up, like for me especially, dude. I remember it took me months to hunt down my 90. What is it? Fuck, I'm gonna botch the year. But anyways, it was my CRX tail lights, right? I wanted those CRX because I had my B16 engine, and the JDM one it said CRX VTEC, you know, and it was a Honda,
I remember that.
and it had no side mark, it had no reflectors. It was a 3-piece set. Sometimes you would find 2, but you wouldn't find the middle, and it was just trying to find it. And literally, this guy had all 3, and I remember driving to Irwindale, you know, to go get it. And while I'm there,
you realize like a lot of parts are in Irwindale or something?
Yeah.
It was at a ghetto in Irwindale, dude. I bet you they're still there.
Irwindale and Gardena.
Yeah.
Were the 2 places.
Yeah.
There was a place off the 710 freeway, I remember, like Long Beach area, that sold import motors, and that's all they sold was import motors.
You're talking about HMO?
Is it right? Like literally, I remember it was on the 710, and you could see it from the 710. You'd exit and you make a right, and then you go right into them.
I can't remember that far back, but yeah, I think there was. I think it could have been HMO, because HMO's been around for years. Well, not years, decades.
Decades. But yeah, I remember going, and like that was the thing. You would want to look to make sure that they were clean. And I remember walking in, and the dude had the SIR wing for the CRX, and I was like, "Whoa, how much for that?" He's like, "Man, these are hard to get."
Yeah.
You know?
He's like 3 of them.
And I'm like some like 19, 20-year-old cat, dude. And like literally, I'm like, bro, he can tell. He can see he can see what's that SpongeBob face where the eyes grow big, and I'm just like, wow. And then he's like, yeah, man, it's $300.
Yeah.
And I'm like, $300 is a lot back then. I was like, holy shit. I was like, all right, I'll be back payday, knowing that I'm gonna be broke as fuck to buy it. But I'm like, I want it, and because hey, I got it on there. Nobody knew who the fuck the wheel was. Nobody knew what the wing was. Nobody knew it. I put it on my car, drilled the holes, and
as long as you had it.
And then guess what? It rains, right?
Yeah.
3 days later, I go to turn on the windshield wiper, and it's hitting against the wing because the JDM wing, the SIR wing, had a special slot where the JDM one would fit in
to go right.
Yeah, to be able to do it, and because it's flipped, it wouldn't work, and I had to remove that.
I need the glass and everything.
Oh, dude, it was a mess. But literally, I had it on there. It had all kinds of JDM parts on it, and then I ended up selling the car. Got myself an Ep.3, and then I was already into that. So then I went ahead and again, you couldn't just make a phone call or look on the internet. I literally met some dude at what's it called? Pit Crew. They were called Pit Crew. They were big back then. It's called Pit Crew, and that dude was building his Ep.3 as well, right? And by chance, he was like, "Hey, I'm ordering the white set. Do you want me to order your black ones?" And I spent a ton, like thousands, to get the front bumper, side skirts, rear bumper, and the crash beam. Which, funny story, once I put all that together, because it took months for the crash beam to come, the like week or two after, I got an accident with the car, destroyed the car, and then literally a week or two after, hey, your crash beam came in.
I don't need it now.
Yeah, I was so upset because that would have saved the front end of the car. Because literally I had a carbon fiber hood. Front bumper, no crash beam, gone. Rear, no crash beam because it had a carbon fiber hatch and it had the bumper, gone. Gone.
One of my favorite car parts that I always wanted growing up when I was a teen. So when I was a teen, I had a 1997 Honda Civic, an EJ8, or how you guys know it as a EK Coupe. The perfect look to have at that time was the SIR front and rear bumper.
I don't like those bumpers.
I don't know, but back then it was like...
back then it was a shit.
Back then it was like, you had it? Oh.
Because that's the one that's like an oval, right, at the bottom?
No. So if you look at the EJ, EK models, on the side of the doors, there's a molding, right? So now, if you went the SR look, the bumper had the moldings too, and the rear bumper had the molding. That's right, yeah. So it would pretty much
black molding at the bottom, right? Like where the headlight would go, like that.
Yeah, and if you came across what they call it, a JDM antenna, you were top G at those days. You remember that? Bro, I remember.
Oh, like to flip the antenna on the other side, right? Yeah.
No. Not the actual antenna. There was one on the bumper that will retract back and forth to let you know, like, okay,
that's like deep 90s, bro.
Yeah, like you're gonna.
The Accords used to have.
Yeah,
I've seen dudes like flip the antenna to the passenger side because it's like a.
No, it's actually on the
bumper.
Yeah, it goes in and out.
So you see, like, you know what are notorious for those are they're JDM, right? Obviously, but they're like the Toyota Crowns. Those have them. Or they have a little light on the top.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look. Anyways, keep going. I'll try.
No, yeah. I remember getting your hands on those were difficult or pricey. So I remember going the cheap route. You know, being a teenager trying to get
cool parts. Yourself or what?
I made one myself out of junkyard parts, and it could never retract because I didn't know how to do electrical wiring. So I just left it up the whole time, and I called it
flapping the whole time.
Just called it a day, and obviously going back to the SRR bumper, I couldn't get a hold of that because, like I said, one, it was too expensive, or two, it was just too rare. So what I ended up doing was, So what I ended up doing, show them that.
Yeah. Look. I hope you guys can see that. That's what we're talking about.
So those moldings on the bumper, right?
That's the exact look.
Yeah.
And then you had to have the light.
Yeah, and those lights actually came from a JDM Accord. If you didn't know that, they have a two set. For the front bumper would be the clear ones, and then for the rear side bumper were red. Mm-hmm. But going back to the bumper, since I couldn't get a hold of one, so I went the most cheapest Mickey Mouse route. I would go to the junkyard, find an EK or EJ body. I would take off the door panel moldings, so I had to get 4, right? So I would just measure it around the bumper, cut it, and then just crazy glue it. And I would say I had an SR bumper, which was the cool thing to have at that time, but obviously it was too expensive or just too rare to come across. So
that's dope, though. But see, that was stuff that you would do to your car. You know? Nowadays, if you come out with some shit like that,
get the
JDM police is gonna come.
No, it's funny. It's funny because like back then you could actually do stuff like that and not get clowned on. They were like, "Oh, that's actually creative."
But that's what I'm saying.
You know?
Yeah, it was about how creative and how like personalized your car could be.
Yeah, like there's one thing I want to do to the 10th gen that I'm like, should I do it or I know?
Tell me, I'll tell you right now. Tell me.
I want to do it. Okay. I know, because obviously, like you.
The gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper, and the what do we call you? I don't know. Like whatever you do to your car, he's got something to say, and he'll fucking tell you. Or if not, he doesn't tell you at the moment, but then he'll eventually tell you after you do it. No, but okay, so.
It's up to you.
Anyways, the one thing I don't like about the 10 gens. Where they actually have their side marker, I think that took away the Honda look to it. So on the 10 gens, the side marker is actually.
Tell me when to put the side marker on the fucking fender.
It's in between the fender and the bumper, right? So what I wanted to do was, and I'm still debating. I don't know if I want to do it or not. Is get a 10 gen side marker and then actually just put it on the fender how it is. With the old school Hondas, but it's like
they're dead already, bro. Let it go.
No, it's because that's my era, like 90s, 2000. You know.
Did you ever do? Because I know it was big when dudes would because it goes even deeper into the JDM realm, right?
Don't tell me the air freshener.
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, so we're looking at a picture of lights, right?
Okay.
On JDM lights, right? And I know this for a fact on like the EKs, right? They had in Japan what was considered a city light. Remember those?
Which was just
like a dim little
light on.
Yeah, it was like a night light for your headlights.
You know what? The
Is that like daytime running?
I think
Back then?
yeah,
Sorta. Yeah, sorta. Yeah, low key, sorta.
the EG model actually had that OEM. I think.
Okay.
I think they
don't
did.
know. But I know for because I had a coupe, right?
Yeah.
And same shit. The thing was to have the JDM lights, and my ass couldn't afford no JDM lights. So what did we do?
Drove.
With a heat light, with a heat gun.
Oh yeah.
We would take the front plastic off. All right, we take the front plastic off, remove the amber strip that was in there.
Yeah.
Okay, and we took it another level. We went Ricer. We painted the outside instead of it being what's it called?
Clear.
Instead of being reflective, we sanded that down. I painted mine white. You know,
Okay.
other people had it black. or
Other
whatever
people would
they
do
had.
it black because we couldn't afford the black housing lights. 'Cause
Exactly.
Black housing lights at that time were what, like 300 and something dollars. Now you can get them for like $60.
$60. And because remember, the Type R light was a smoked color light.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a smoke chrome. So literally, if you had that smoke chrome, like oh shit, you might have
Yeah.
some Type R lights. But anyway, in the main light housing, there was this little bulb
Yeah.
that lived right there on the JDM spec.
Mhm.
But then the big thing was to drill a small hole in there
And just do
and,
your own.
and put this little city light that you had this little toggle in your car.
Yeah.
And again, to personalize it, mine were red. Other people had green. My homie had a green one.
Weren't the original ones like yellowish?
Yeah, it was like an amber light. It
Yeah.
was just like a regular fucking bulb. It was just a yellow. It's just a yellowish bulb. But again, in Japan, it was because that was their version of a daytime running light.
Yeah.
For us here, we're just trying to copy that look.
Yeah.
And we took it one more import tuner nights type of deal. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Import tuner nights.
Importuner was the best. And
Oh, dude.
what was the
That's
other
what
one?
He was talking about.
I know. He's like, oh, that's
What is
fucking
that?
pioneer. Well, sorry for the bad words, but he's like, oh, that's pioneer time.
We've been demonetized.
that's pioneer timing. I don't know about that.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm telling you guys, like the JDM world was way different than what you guys even look at JDM cars, even EK9s, EGs, EJs, all that stuff. Now that you want to say JDM, I'm glad you brought that up. Is totally different.
Different.
That's why I can't. That's why I tell you guys, I can't buy myself a older gen car because I will hunt these parts down.
Yeah.
I will tear the car down to this. What I tell you, the first thing I do, I'd be like, we're stripping that shit down to the bare metal. And we're gonna start from the bottom
and
up.
it's not hard to find the parts now because there's obviously
Importers and all that.
importers. There's
It'd be so easy.
social media. It's also someone knows someone that imports stuff, so you can get that connection or that discount connection. But it beats the purpose and the fun to having an exclusive JDM parts now. So it's like, what was hard for us to find is easy to find for you guys now. So it's like, to me, it's like the love and value for that car went from this to that because it's like now anybody can get it, So you're not all that exclusive anymore. And I'm not trying to say like, oh, it's only for us and that's it, no one else. It's just,
It's just different now. It's
Yeah.
easy. I would say it's easier to get parts.
it's stupid easy.
I mean, shoot, you can hop on because now the information that's out there makes it so much easier for you to get whatever you want.
Yeah.
Back
Offer
then-
up.
I mean, but again,
And Facebook.
Yeah, and Facebook.
Marketplace.
Yeah.
But back then when you were trying to source it, where do you start? How do you
Yeah.
call? Who do you talk to? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
Like now it's just all Google Translate, boom, send it over.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's so much, the space is so much easier to get and import and bring stuff and do stuff with it than it was back then, just because of, I'm gonna have to say, just technology. I mean, shit,
Mhm.
it was so hard to source it. Like I said, if you knew that import guy that brought in stuff, you weren't trying to share it with everybody because you wanted to grab all your parts first and then share the love.
Or what most guys would do is like, they won't obviously tell you who they get it from, but they'll be like, hey, I know him. He charges this much, but obviously they weren't charging that much just because they knew that person. They would get it at a discount code, right? Whatever. Let's say if something costed $300, they only charges them $200, and that's how a lot of people were making their own money for more JDM parts.
Yeah.
Driving up the market, huh?
Yeah.
Well, all right. What else we got in the segment?
In this segment, we're gonna tell him to leave now. All right, thanks for coming on. See you later. See you later. Nah.
Where you going?
Oh, I'm back.
No, I think some topics that we're gonna cover, you're more than free to toss in your wrench, so to say.
Yeah.
You know, we had talked about, maybe he can. We had talked about this in episode 3.5 before it got deleted.
First stop.
I was
Start recording, talking about being deleted.
Yeah, no, it still is. I was talking about, we had talked about different topics as far as like, I think we talked one about sponsorship relationships. We talked about another one that was track or rollers.
Mm-hmm.
That one was a good one. I mean, I can't believe we lost that one. But let's bring that one, okay? We brought up the subject of tracking versus
Roll racing.
Rovers. Okay.
I'm sure you're versed in both.
Yeah. Have been.
Here and in Mexico.
Yeah. Mexico. Baja.
Yeah, Baja. But I mean, the way we got into it is we just started talking about it, and I was like, well, first of all, what do you like it? Which one do you like the best?
Obviously, at my age now, I would prefer.
Okay, your age, I'm older than you.
Yeah, but it's always like I know. I'm saying it obviously
You're
because
resident old dude.
you know there's obviously a lot of people don't know that I'm a lot older than what I look. If I were to compare, if I were to compare like what I like 10 years ago to what I like 10 years, I mean,
Let's just say now.
present.
Let's
Okay,
say
now
we don't got time for your
I
60 years of
yeah,
life.
I prefer track just because it's safer, and it's more in a controlled area. So
See?
you know, you don't put other people in danger.
I did the same thing.
You don't put other people in
That's what
danger,
I'm saying,
but
the
the ones that are on the track. But at least you know everybody who's at the track knows that hey, this could be our last ride. You know, because we are racing legally, and we're going full blast at what we're legalized to do, which is still scary. But I prefer track over street racing. Overall, and I would recommend that to anybody.
Yeah, I think the big thing that Lewis and I were talking about, I mean, is that it's a controlled environment.
Yeah.
It's a controlled environment. You know, you can have fun. You can get your rocks off. You know, and there's nothing wrong with even saying, oh, I'd rather go do drag racing or whatever, because you can go to a drag track and do it there too. You know, you can go, and they're now even doing like rollers.
Yeah, rollers.
You know what I'm saying? So you could do that and do it in a safe environment where you're not putting people at harm.
Yeah.
And again, we're not here to like try and tell people what's up, but I'm just trying to
Or
say,
or bash on anybody who does it, but just
you can always do it in a safer
be
environment.
mindful of others. You know, other people who have nothing to do with the stupidity you guys are trying to do out in the public. You know.
Yeah, because I mean, again, I was part of that, early 2000s, going to Fontana, going to Long Beach.
I'm surprised that we never ran into each other there.
Going to Compton.
You guys probably did.
Up in Rancho?
I probably lined up against him. I was like, I got this freaking.
I got him.
Got this fake SIR.
Hey, I swore that EJA with 120 horsepower was shooting at 500. We were trying to race everything.
It's like when you go fishing. I caught this big ass fish.
Yeah.
Nah, but yeah, I mean, I used to go and do that, and I used to go and mess around on the freeway with my friends. Like we used to be racing on the freeway, quote unquote, right? And literally, like, I guess that's why I even was pinpointing Lewis earlier, was that's why I do my absolute best to not, like, we're on the freeway and some dude lokes up next to me and wants to run. Like, you're not gonna catch me on doing that.
No.
Like Lewis was even saying, he's like, if you're gonna roll up to him, he's not gonna do it. And the car pushes a good amount. This car pushes a good amount of horsepower, and trust me, there are times that I'm on the freeway and I'm like, it's really, I can take you. But literally, I don't do it just because it's. First of all, I'm just trying to also, set an example to Morris, who God knows what he's doing out on the road when he's not with me. But same thing, or even in my car, that camera says a lot. But literally, I try and just set that example of not doing it, because it's not worth it. I mean, shit, my wife will kill me. But
Yeah.
not to mention what I might do to somebody and all that. And I know we're taking a dark turn off the subject, but yeah, I was just trying to get at like, you know, Lewis, which I had asked him the same question. What he preferred, and he preferred track. But
I prefer tracking just because same thing. I don't want to,
But you did get your rocks off.
Oh,
wait.
Yeah, go ahead. Open it up.
That kind of worms.
No. The best moment I ever had with Lewis, doing our stupidity was when this group of youngsters were calling him out, right, saying that his car was slow. It's just a fucking Honda, whatever. And obviously he couldn't race that night because he was having I think it was like tune or sensor issues.
There's like a tune issue.
It's something like that, right? And then we had just dropped in the
sensor.
You were notorious for the sensor issues. Yeah, you were notorious for sensor issues.
Now I know that car is not on the.
Yeah.
No, but it was funny because that night obviously they were calling us out. Well, calling him out obviously, and obviously whatever followed him followed us. So that same day we had just dropped in the Garrett on my car, and he's like, "Just go, you race them. I know you can do it." I'm like, "Bro, I'm just on what was it, a bass tune?"
Hey, hours before he's like, "Hey, break it in at least 100 miles."
Yeah.
And then he's like, "You're good."
So I kid you not, we went. Everybody was trying to race him because everybody knew him, that he was like, that young guy coming to his prime to what he was doing. And obviously there's those guys that are in their VQs or V8s. Okay, yeah, don't get me wrong, those cars are fast, but don't always expect because it has a bigger engine, a car with a smaller engine can't beat you.
Yeah.
So long story short, we went and it was like, I kid you not, like something out of Need for Speed Most Wanted. We were racing with the henchmen up to like the main boss.
The main boss. Yeah, right. Yeah.
And I remember, something like that. And then obviously Lewis texts me like, "Hey," he's like, "just go for him." All right, I pulled up and I'm like, "Hey," I was like, "You ready?" He's like, "Okay." So then Lewis is recording, and once it happens, you can just see us going side by side, and then boom, I take off. And then Lewis is in the back recording. He's happy. He's like, "Yeah, he got him." And after that night, no one had nothing to say about him anymore. Because obviously...
Not even have to race.
No, he didn't have to race. And obviously because everybody knew that my car was built by him. So I was like, okay, if someone who has a built car buy this guy, what do you expect from a guy who has the money and the resources to do it? You get me? His is going to be more over that.
And we're talking about fucking stories, but I remember before, even before I met him, I used to live in Palmdale, and we used to go to the races in Palmdale, like 140, like mid-desert, fucking raw racing and shit. So
that's crazy.
And then even when I met Jasmine, like we used to go fucking raw racing like every week. We used to go raw racing during the locals, and yeah, same shit. I would get people like let's run it with the Evo, let's run it with the STIs. A lot of VQs for some fucking I don't know why. Like, what is it with the VQ guys? They got a lot of them.
Okay, excuse my ignorance. What's a VQ?
Oh, you own one? Your wife's own one?
All the G35s.
Oh, that car. Okay.
The Infinity guys. Those called Infinity guys.
But when you buy the car, you have to.
The G35. That's all I know.
Hey, when you sign for the paperwork, it says in there you gotta cut your mufflers off.
Yeah, cut your
mufflers.
Rev at everybody.
I don't know.
It's like when you buy a Challenger and a Charger, you have to rev at everybody.
Oh, Amazon?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah, get the Charger. Been waiting for a package all day. That's cool. Well, I mean, again, yeah. I mean, when it came to the roll races and all that, it's a totally different game than it was even before.
Oh yeah, now it's even crazier because there's so much horsepower now.
Yeah, but
I mean, I hear podcasts. Sorry to cut you off. I hear podcasts on dudes that are on the East Coast, and that shit.
Dude, but the East Coast, that was been crazy.
No, but East Coast guys, and I give it up to them hardcore. Like hardcore, you guys are the best at what you guys do. Man, like you guys.
Well, they shut down.
You guys shut down everything, and what you guys do is you guys take it to the extreme. But it's because you guys have that rep that you guys got to keep up over there. Like I've seen this
Oh,
one
East
race
Coast,
where.
East Coast, West Coast.
No, I don't. I'm not gonna name.
Nah, bro, they got it, bro.
I'm not gonna name who and who. Obviously,
Hey, just
for disclosure. But I remember one of the best races that I ever seen was, and I had seen it with Lewis because we even make jokes about it. There's this guy out there who drives
It was a Subaru.
A Subaru, and he has his own shop, whatever. His car's fast. Don't get me wrong, it's really fast. But he was so cocky that he was gonna beat this guy in a Honda Civic hatchback, and he was like, "What do I need to warm up for? It's just a Honda. It's just a Honda." He kept saying
I think they bet like 50 bands.
He kept just bragging that it's a Honda. He was gonna beat it, but obviously all that talk is like. It was cheap, you know.
The Honda guy was like, he's like, you better have like 1,000 horsepower with nitrous on top of that.
No, and even the guy with the Honda was very generous and told him, "I'll give you, I think a car and a half or 2 cars." And the guy was like, "No, I don't need it. It's just a Honda, bro."
Fucking gapped by like 3 buses, bro.
It was like the buses with the extended trailer.
Yeah. The Japanese, huh?
Yeah. And it was the easiest
25 grand you lost in in 30 seconds, bro.
Wow, that's
but
crazy.
what they do is
the East Coast dudes, they go crazy.
No, these guys are.
Yeah, it's an art that they have mastered.
These are the Albert Einsteins of the whole modified industry world, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah, they're crazy, but
yeah.
We had a couple questions. Hopefully you're a bit more of a on the day-to-day person.
Okay.
One guy asked, "What do you think?"
Boxers and briefs. whatever helps you kneel down the ground without busting your back.
Okay. What do you think you need to just you have a brand new Civic? Let's say you just bought one. What do you need to go to the track off the bat? What do you think you need?
First things first, tires.
Yeah, tires.
First things first, tires. I can tell you right off the bat when the first time I went to the track with these guys, I was running already with minor full bolt-ons and whatever. And Lewis was telling me, "You need tires." I'm like, "Nah, bro, they're brand new tires.
They're like the stock ones, right?"
Michelin's. I'm like, "Nah,
Michelin's.
I got Michelin's." I was like, "Michelin's, whatever." And I'm over here sliding to the left.
Why can't I keep up with
I know, I couldn't keep up with anybody. I was like sliding everywhere. And then that's where
all seasons don't seem to work.
Hey, and that's
where
I'm in the season right now. Right?
And that's where I learned that obviously traction has a lot to do with your time lap. If you have no time, good tires, you're not gonna get anywhere. You can have the fastest car, but if you don't have tires,
you can't put it down. You can't grip. It doesn't matter.
No. Perfect example. The second time we went to the track, he was going at it with a ZL1, right?
Oh yeah.
The ZL1, I don't honestly think he had regular tires, because every time when they would do the turns, Lewis would completely lose him, and the guy was struggling to do the turns. But as far as like the whole long run area, he would be able to catch up to him. So obviously horsepower doesn't really matter at the end. It's traction, suspension, and obviously I want to say at the end even horsepower, because obviously there's Miata.
Yeah, but I would think horsepower is like the last thing you should worry about.
Because there's Miatas out there.
They're completely stock.
Completely stock, good suspension, good tires, and
so
remember?
True, dude. I was at where was it? At Streets, and they're on the fishbowl, right?
Yeah, those guys take it good.
I would smoke the Miata down the back straight or even the front straight, and then coming around that turn, you just see this little thing right by you, and you're like, "What the fuck? Like, what the hell?" Like, and they just, I mean, power to weight, they're just so much better.
Yeah, they're much better.
I even learned that the hard way at the canyons. I'm not gonna say what canyons, but
I was in Mexico.
Yeah, Mexican canyons. Going down, to Baja, Mexicali. There's a super stock Miata. Obviously, you can tell it was, packing.
Hey, let me just say this: if you guys want to see some actual drivers, go to Angel's Crest on a Sunday morning.
Oh yeah, those guys.
Get there around 7:30. You're gonna see some real drivers out there, bro.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole
before.
What's that run called? The up to the cafe run. Right? What is it called?
I forget what that's called, but
when you go up ACH.
Oh, it's the name of the cafe.
The owner. I think there's the owner of the coffee shop under 6th Street Bridge. He hosted something. A gathering.
But it's a common run that people do on Sundays. We've done it before.
And it's mostly It's mostly German cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have like Porsche and BMW.
No, Porsche.
ones.
Yeah. Porsche.
That's mainly.
We've done the Honda ones.
Yeah, we've seen that. Those
Yeah.
lower tax bracket.
No.
But you know what? The other part of what you will need for the track, like we said, pay to play. You need a helmet.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
You need safety equipment. I mean,
No. Here's an even number one spot right now. Here's what you need. You need confidence to get out there.
Yeah, you can't.
A lot of people do not have confidence to drive.
No, it's not confidence.
You
It's
gain it.
It's more of.
You can gain it.
No, it's not the confidence. Confidence, you eventually gain it. It's more of beating the fear factor of. Actually,
I remember when he started, he was like, "Fuck, bro, I don't know."
I was scared.
He was tense.
I was scared, because one, I was outside of my bubble, and I was really doing what I really wanted to do. So, obviously, when we were at the track the first time, when I was trying my best, it was hard. I kid you not. I went in there with a mentality that was, oh, well, I raced growing up, so should be a piece of cake. But once you're there, it's a whole different game. Like, you will humble yourself hardcore there.
Oh, it is.
Humble yourself.
I thought because I had a Type R, my car was gonna just be fast and smoke people. And I mean, like, you get dusted, dude.
Yeah.
Like, dusted by
Hey,
people.
talking about Type R, do you remember when we were like already in our second or third year with the FK8, and then we go to the track and that one guy,
Yeah.
he was like beating everybody in the stock FK8, and he's all like, what do you have done to it? He's like, nothing, just tires, everything stock.
Oh, I know you're talking about the guy with the black Type R?
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
But
he
his
was good.
background was that he raced Miatas.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had the experience, and he came out
I
wrecking.
can't remember his name. I think it was.
No, I don't think we ever got his name. It was like some Asian cat.
He was just some
No.
Asian cat.
Yeah,
it was
an
Hispanic.
Asian cat. You're talking about something else.
No, yeah.
The guy who blew up the motor?
He was also a wrestler.
Chico.
Chico, there you go.
Chico was cool. Chico, shout out to him. He
Yeah,
was
Chico.
cool.
He's in Texas now, right?
Yeah, I would talk to him all the time, and he'd give me tips, and like we would share our hot lap times.
Yeah.
And like he was cool. He's the one who I bought the Grady oil cooler from. He sold me that Grady oil cooler
When he parted out.
When he parted out his car, yeah. Yeah, so shout out to him. He was cool.
That guy was...
Him and the other little guy, his friend. What was the other guy's name? The guy who was organizing track events too.
Buster.
Oh, bro, what happened to Buster, dude?
I don't know.
Oh, actually, I think he works for Boeing now.
Oh.
That's why he's so busy. But yeah, Buster. Do you remember that day at Big Willow when he blew out on turn 9?
Yeah.
He just went. That's 2000. All you see is like we're watching him come down, and then like a cloud of smoke comes out. We're like, oh shit, this guy just fucking blew out on turn 9.
And it's funny though, because he comes out like nothing, like, oh, okay. And then
Dude, his car was like
his beautiful ash hair was still intact.
Shout out
Like,
Buster.
whatever hair product you're using, let me know, because I want to come out of a.
It just glided right off.
Yeah. It was just like,
It was a ceramic coating.
Hey, but you know what? He had a good helmet.
Yeah, he had a good helmet.
So yeah, okay, coming back to that one then. I think Lewis and I had said, top 3 things, but you kind of want to look at 4, right? Like we said tires, most important.
Suspension.
Most important, something to help your
like if you were you just bought the car and you're broken, but you want to track. What do you need?
Helmet, we said.
Helmet, tires, and if you can, believe it or not, I this is my opinion. Harness has a lot to do with it, because when I was at the track with a regular seatbelt, I kept sliding.
Oh, you see?
I kept sliding.
It's different.
Yeah,
different. That's definitely like a pinpoint in driving, because how I explained it to him too, because he was like, why do I keep moving?
Yeah.
You gotta remember, like, the seatbelt's only holding you like this, right?
It's holding you to go
forward.
forward.
Like when you're using the G's, because your car has a G meter. I don't know if you guys know that, but I didn't
know that.
I didn't even know that. Even your Civic has a G
your
meter.
Your 9295 has a G meter.
Yeah. It's right here on your feeling it.
Yeah. No.
So when you're doing this, your body's doing this, but you're holding onto the wheel. So while you're holding onto the wheel, you're turning it more.
Yeah.
So if you can keep your body straight, you can just let the wheel move, and your body isn't forcing yourself to do this to try to catch yourself.
Yeah. One tip that
you're not concentrating on holding yourself into the car. You're driving the car.
Yeah.
Not you're just holding yourself, because that is true. I mean, even in the FK8, even in the FL5 with the regular seat, now I'm gonna tease it right now. I'm gonna tease it. We do have a seat for the FL5, and that video will be coming out in the next few weeks. But literally, stay posted for that one. But yeah, that is a main purpose why we got a seat for the car, because Same thing. I mean, my big ass has to open my legs out all the way like this and hold myself.
Yeah.
And by the end of the day, your arms are sore.
You're sore.
Your hips are sore because you're like holding yourself instead of concentrating on driving.
Yeah.
And that's what even Lewis tells me, because I was like, I kind of gave him some shit for it when he got his seats with the halo and everything. I was like, okay, F1, relax.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, dude.
But it goes a long way.
You really don't have to worry about moving. And I have noticed that. Yeah, it is true. Because even when you're smashing, you're bumping around, you're moving, and it's like that's one less thing you want to worry about. But that's like getting deeper. So yeah, just the first, like you said, your first items would be, safety equipment, wheels, and then you said what else?
This harness. But one tip that I wanted to obviously give to those who are trying to track, and I'm pretty sure they all agree, and obviously I got this tip from Buster. When you're at the track, don't worry about turning your body to where you want to turn. It's literally, you just sit there, do your entire movement with just your arms. Because the moment that you start moving your body too, is like, I don't know, I feel like you will lose a lot more control. When you're doing all your turns, it's all in the steering wheel, not your body. It's just the steering wheel.
Yeah, that's a good tip. I'm sure, Lewis, we got like some rapid fire questions from people that have
What are the questions?
chimed in into your weekly ask. So go ahead and bring that up.
The other one is 0W20 or 5W30?
Okay, so 0520.
020.
Oh, 020. I would just keep that if your car is stock and you're not running E85 and you have just maybe an intake. Now, what was the other one you said?
530.
530. Now, that's the most recommended, at least from what I've experienced in the car. Once you start going full bolt-ons, E85, and anything else that's extreme out there for your engine. Everything that's going to put more wear and tear for your engine.
And adding to that, do you think OEM oil is good for tracking?
No.
Okay, there you go.
Not at all.
That's the answer.
You got to understand that once you're out there, most people sometimes go to the track on summer. Your car is already hot as it is. Now imagine the temperature outside. How thin you think your oil is gonna be while you're doing all that? It just thins out.
A lot of wear and tear. So 530, go get it. Get the Torco, get the good stuff.
Yeah, just I tell you this from experience, and obviously from being bashed on. Sometimes you want to save money or be cheap. Don't do it. Being cheap when it comes to your oil is going to cost you a lot in the long run. That's why a lot of you guys have a lot of blown head gaskets, and you guys won't admit to that.
Honda or K-Tuner?
What would you say?
He's only had experience.
I'm biased.
I've only had not because we work with them, but I've only had Honda.
I've had both.
See, I remember I come from the days.
So see, this is a better answer
your
because
computer get
he's
chips
had
somewhere.
both.
I've had both. Okay, so when I started,
he's had both.
Yeah.
This is a better than me because you guys are gonna feel that we're biased because we're so.
No, I've had both. They're both good for their environment. Their environments, obviously.
Well, my question better is, which one do you feel is more user friendly?
Honda.
Okay.
Honda, just because anything you need to do, you do it directly yourself, or you contact a person that's local to you, opposed to the other company that you have to wait until they do their configuration with their data, and then obviously they send you back that information. And while you're waiting, it's like, damn, your car's still just sitting there.
But Lewis made a good point too when we talked offline on how connectivity, right?
Yeah, because you remember with K-Tuner, you would have to be connected to the internet all the time?
Yeah.
I feel like that's so dumb. It's like with Honda, you could be like in the middle of the track and you'd be...
Yeah.
Which is beneficial because if you guys have raced over if you guys have gone
on any track almost,
to streets of Willow, there is no reception.
Yeah.
Like literally, you're out on an island, and if you need to tune something on the fly, good luck, pal. You're not gonna get nothing.
Yeah.
Our head stud's an important upgrade, even if you're in a mild tune.
Yeah. Because eventually, obviously, you're gonna do a lot of wear and tear.
And it's not of an if,
it's when.
See?
Obviously, if you have the finances, do it at the earliest to your convenience. But if you don't, obviously save up, and also be careful how you drive your car.
What upgrades would you deem essential / beneficial even for a stock car?
Ooh, this is a good topic.
Are we going based on like?
I'm just saying, like, what do you
general?
think? You bought a brand new car. Like, what do you think minimum you should have after you've experienced having a completely stock car? I told him I think at least an intercooler.
Well, this is my first time actually owning a turbo car, so to me, it was always like an intake. Intake did a lot.
But these cars, they don't do shit.
On these cars, it doesn't do shit. But obviously, like
the swish sounds, I guess.
the sound of obviously no, not just that. It's like just that first sound that you get from like putting the pedal to the metal is like, ooh, when you hear that from the intake, you're like, oh, yeah. I don't know. There's just a feeling to that. It's like, oh.
Intake, guys, get an intake.
Intake.
Make your life nice.
And don't get the Home Depot PV intakes. No, because I seen that.
Hey, what's wrong with that, bro?
I seen it. It works, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I
get silicone.
But yeah, you were saying first. But is it like first mod, Lewis? How you trying to
No,
say?
like just what do you think is beneficial for the car, even if it's stock?
If
I mean, for me, again, it just depends. I mean, what's beneficial? I mean, God, I'm such a nerd when it comes to certain stuff. So it's just, I think it's gonna come down to
budget and all that, or what?
No, it's just like, what we were just talking about, like oil and stuff like that, like.
Change your OEM oil.
Yeah, what
get an intake.
Yeah, like what direction you're gonna go.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna be tracking your car,
I'm assuming what they're asking is like they want to make sure that you have a stock car, but they want to do like stuff that's not gonna affect it.
Okay. Get a shift knob.
Get a shift knob.
This is something.
Hey, get rid of the amber lights and put the clears.
Yeah.
There's this one thing that a lot of this new generation has a very bad concept. You gotta understand, if you're gonna end up modifying your daily car, just know it's not gonna be your most reliable car. So you have to take in consideration, if I'm gonna go down this route where I'm gonna do this, do that, and it's gonna give me this much of horsepower, just know that you're cutting that lifespan of your
motor. And then adding to that,
you must watch the videos, huh? Because we always say that you know what you're getting.
It's not that I have watched some of the videos.
Oh wow, you don't watch.
You gotta understand, I'm always behind the wheel.
Hey, but anyways, but adding to that though, you gotta remember, anytime you upgrade anything, your warranty's out the window.
Yeah.
I get so many questions about warranty. I'm like, bro, it's gone, dude. Like your warranty's out.
Yeah. Lewis gave me so much beef because when I got again, I'm a guy that gets warranty on everything, right? Everything. I'm talking about everything. And when I got my Accord out there had a 100,000 mile warranty, right? My Porsche has a warranty. Like all that shit has warranties, right?
Yeah.
So literally, when I got my FK8, I was like, bet I'm getting the 100,000 mile warranty. I'm doing all this. And when we were working at it, he was like, don't tell me you got the warranty.
Yeah, I was like, oh, cancel that shit.
Yeah, literally.
You can still keep your warranty, but you gotta be smart about it. How to do it.
It's just they snake their way out.
They'll eventually know. You can't lie.
They blackball you.
Yeah.
I mean, even when we got the FL5, remember that, Lewis? Because that was funny. When we got the FL5, Lewis was there when I was buying it, right? And he was like, "Oh, do you want to get the maintenance package?" We were like, "Nah, man, the homie right here, we got a shop. Like he'll do the maintenance."
Yeah.
Well, you sure you don't want the warranty? We're like, bro, we're taking this car to the track, and we're gonna add all kinds of stuff to it. And he's like, well, yeah, but you want the warranty?
You're not gonna this car, bro.
Yeah, and we're like, bro, unless you're gonna warranty all the stuff we've done to it, then we're good. And he's like, oh no, I can't do that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
all right, then we're done here. Like,
Dude, but he repeated like, bro, I should low-key piss me off because I was like, bro, I raised my voice at him.
He even told him you don't have to be hostile.
And I was like, we don't want the fucking warranty.
Yeah, he was trying hard.
You get a free toaster with it.
Dude,
hey,
like, bro.
I wish.
Yeah. Oh, cool, then put them down.
Got it.
2 or 4 slices. But yeah, literally he was trying hard, and literally I was like, nah, bro, like I'm not buying the warranty.
Yeah.
And literally, I mean, like we disassembled. That car, minus the frame, that car has been disassembled.
I think any car that he's ever came encounter, it has gone through like the most disassemble you can down to like the body.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen the SI, bro.
The EJ, the SI. The CRV next.
The CRV's next. Oh my god, yeah, this dude cannot stop. Oh, I'm gonna leave it stock. It's just gonna be it. Next thing you know, hey bro, I'm gonna put in a turbo in the car. For what? What is your fucking daily?
Just to get to work on time.
Yeah. He's the owner. He doesn't have to get to work on time.
I'm gonna get a write up.
He's gonna write himself up.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's gonna be all the time we have for this week's segment. Thank you guys for tuning in to About Nothing. Let us know how Jay did. We want him back again. We're gonna get the tight
Slide
schedule.
into his DMs.
Let me know. I mean, I'm more than welcome to ever come back. I like to drive. I like being around these guys. Like,
I was telling him the Billy, the voice of reason, is next week.
oh yeah, Billy's another guy that.
Voice of reason.
No, Billy.
He made an
You guys
appearance
want to
or
learn a thing or two? Billy's the guy.
He's been through some shit.
A lot with the type part.
That's
So-
yeah. Well, but that's cool. I mean, we appreciate you giving us your insight. First of all, on the older generation, you know,
And then on the everyday 10th gen driver.
Yeah.
SI 10th gen driver we're gonna have now.
Oh, and you had an FK7 too, right?
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I was forgetting.
Automatic.
Damn,
Wow.
you're well versed.
Wow.
I was shifting from 2 to 1, 2 to 1, 2 to 1.
Hey, drive sport.
But yeah, so anywho, like Lewis said, yeah, catch us on the next one, guys. Like we said, we got the Japan vlog coming out this Thursday. Make sure you guys tune into that. This will be up on Tuesday, as usual. So if you want to go ahead and download us, like I had said in a previous podcast, is we're going to attempt at using YouTube's live feature when we're setting up and just getting stuff ready, just to see how you guys like that. I mean, again, it's just a test, see how it works out. We might even do like live, you know, spot checks or whatever when we're actually filming our videos, you know, for the car and whatnot. So just stay tuned to that. And again, I'm going to close this out for myself, for the trusty labor assistant, the 5-county, 3-state edge master, and the other old man to the crew. We'll catch you guys out in the next one.
Peace out.